My boat wasn't just a boat. It was my late father's dream. Our fishing trips, our summer afternoons, his voice teaching me how to steer, how to breathe, how to live. When he passed, it became the last piece of him I had left. I restored it, polished it, protected it, and kept it on the side of my house exactly the way he would have wanted. But then came the HOA. And more specifically, her, Karen, the self-appointed queen of our neighborhood. She hated anything that didn't match her perfect little picture of the community. My grass had to be the exact height. My porch light had to be the approved brightness. And apparently my boat had to fit the HOA's vision of acceptable recreational vessels. I didn't even know that was a thing. One morning, I woke up to the rumble of a diesel engine. A tow truck. My heart dropped. When I ran outside, I saw the chain hooked around my father's boat. The tow driver just shrugged. "Orders from the HOA, sir. They said it violates code." Karen stood behind him with a clipboard, squinting at me through oversized sunglasses. "This boat is simply too large for our community image," she announced proudly, as if she were giving a speech to Congress. "It's on MY property," I snapped. "And the HOA rules don't apply to something this trailer-mounted and legally registered." I cut her off. But she didn't care. She never cared. When the driver started tightening the chain, something inside me cracked. Memories of my father flashed through my mind. His laugh, his whistle, his hand on my shoulder as we cast our lines. Losing that boat would have been like losing him all over again. I stood in front of the tow truck. "You'll have to run me over first," I said. The driver stared at Karen. She rolled her eyes dramatically and stomped away. "This isn't over," she yelled. I believed her. Later that week, I received 7 violation letters. 7. All for ridiculous things. Boat too big. Boat too visible. Boat causing visual disruption to the HOA atmosphere. What does that even mean? I knew she wasn't doing this for rules. She hated the boat because her boating club, yes, the HOA had a boating club, was obsessed with smaller, aesthetically pleasing pontoons, while mine was a classic deep-water model that looked like a king next to their plastic toys. And then came the moment she made her biggest mistake. The HOA sent an official demand for me to remove my boat or they would take appropriate action. Little did Karen know. My lake, the one the HOA loved to host boating events on, was not owned by the HOA. It was owned by me. I inherited it along with a property line that ran straight through the water. The HOA had never bothered to check the deed. They just assumed the lake was communal. But it wasn't. When I realized this, a slow, calm smile stretched across my face. If Karen wanted to mess with my boat, she was about to learn exactly who she was dealing with. I called my lawyer. We drafted a letter, short, simple, devastating. Effective immediately, the HOA Boating Club was prohibited from using MY Lake for any activities, events, or watercraft access. We sent copies to every member. The next weekend, the HOA Club arrived as always, ready for their regular boating meetup. They found the entrance chained, locked, and posted with a large, official sign. "Private lake, no HOA access, trespassing prohibited." Karen showed up 30 minutes later in a frenzy, wearing a visor and carrying a folder of HOA authority documents. She marched toward me like she was charging into battle. "You can't do this," she screamed. "Actually," I replied, holding up my deed, "I can do exactly this." I handed the papers to her. Her face fell. This must be wrong." "It's not. You can't ban us." "I can. And I just did." She sputtered, gasped, turned red, then pale, then red again. "But our boating club needs this lake." "Then maybe you should have thought of that before trying to tow my dad's boat." Behind her, I heard whispers. HOA members, who once defended her, now glared at her. "This is your fault," one man snapped. "You always take things too far," another added. "We told you to leave him alone," a woman muttered. Karen was crumbling. She tried begging, threatening, bargaining. Nothing worked. My lawyer had everything sealed tight. The lake was mine. The access was mine. And for once, I had the power. Over the next month, the HOA club fell apart. Their events were canceled. Membership shrank.